Hi, this is Danny Doyle. You are watching Chapter 13 of my Fire Emblem Path of Radiance 0% Growth Run, and we're going to start this one off strong with two promotions that on the surface actually look pretty similar, but functionally serve two very, very different purposes. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm joined by Jacob. I'm a terrible host. I'm sorry, Jacob.
You're just so used to having me around.
I'll make it up to you by promoting Jill.
Oh, okay. It'll be almost as good as promoting Marcia. I really hope we get to see Marcia promote at some point, though.
We do get to see Marcia promote at some point. She's the other unit I'm promoting. These promotions serve very different purposes, though. Jill... and it's fitting that they're being promoted in different ways, because the way in which they're being promoted kind of suits the type of unit they are. Jill is getting promoted with BXB because she made it up to, like, what, level 14 or 15 last chapter? And her promotion just makes her better at combat, and she earned a lot of experience in combat. Marcia is going to be promoted using a seal because getting her to even level 10 required some bonus experience.
Huh, I wonder why.
Because she's not a good combat unit. Like, look at her stats. 8 strength, 11 speed. Like, she's a good combat unit if she has growths. The main thing that I care about with Marcia is flyer utility. She is going to be key for a couple of these upcoming maps in a capacity that involves minimal amount of engagement with the enemy. I've done a little bit of planning for this playthrough, which is why I know that I need promoted Marcia. So I need promoted Marcia by Chapter 17. And she's helpful to have in earlier chapters, so I might as well do it now. Because the extra point of move, while not essential for this chapter, is, it's helpful. Talking about, like, planning, and also one of the side objectives in this chapter is about a very long-term plan. I wanted to touch on how I'm planning this run, because it's not, like, completely planned out, as you can tell from the fact that I got attacked by Jill a few fucking maps ago. There's a large amount of improvisation. But I am planning, so one thing that, Rangor1997, I was listening to him talking about, doing low turn count 0% growth stuff, which... Low turn count, you, like, plan out the entire playthrough to be as efficient as possible. But one of the things that he pointed out regarding 0% growths, which is the way that I was approaching planning, quote-unquote, this out, is rather than planning the entire run for 0% growths, you want to look at what the choke points are, look at where you are going to have the most resistance, and plan for those points first. Or possibly only plan for those points if you're doing, like, a slightly more improvisational thing. So, like, the choke points are the final boss. Like, in this game, the final boss, he can only be damaged by 3 different characters. 4, but one of the... Well, he can only be damaged by 3 different characters who you can have when you're fighting him. Another big choke point is Chapter 17, because that's right before you get Tanith, who is going to be a big part of your combat, and it's when, like, Jill and Kieran and Titania are going to be really falling off as combat units.
I cannot wait to get Tanith. Tanith is so cool. I'm
so excited for Tanith. But... promoting Marcia is me planning ahead for Chapter 17. I have a specific strat in mind for Chapter 17 that a promoted Marcia is a key part of. The side objectives on this map, mainly this chest right here, is me planning ahead for the final boss. Because of the characters who can damage him, it's Ike, Nasir, and Enna. I'm not getting Nasir because Ike is not going to be able to kill the Black Knight. Ike is not going to be able to kill Ashnard because look at his fucking stats.
I mean, he gets like +5 defense from the Ragnar, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't change if he's dealing 0 damage to Ashnard or not.
Oh, that's why you give him Soul, so he'll use. That's why you give him Ether, so he'll use Luna and attack him at half defense, right?
Shut the fuck up! He can't even get Luna! Luna's a knight ability!
I mean, he can get Ether, right?
Oh
Which
my
is
god.
like,
Just stop. Just stop! There's so much wrong with what you're saying!
why am I invited again?
That's a very good question. No, I love your company. You're very funny.
Oh no, we're benching Soth. I'm leaving.
We're benching Soth. So I thought about fielding him because I do have to get these chests, and there's some good stuff in most of these chests. This one I'm going to forego. This one is mandatory. This one has an energy drop. And since Enna is my only possible Ashnard killer, like I get the Royals, but they show up only for Phase 2, so I need someone who can kill Ashnard for Phase 1. I need to figure out how best to kill Ashnard with Enna. And Wrath Resolve Enna is almost there, but she needs 2 energy drops, and there are 2 energy drops in this game, so I can't skip a single one.
That makes sense.
So this is essential, and it's going to sit in my convoy all the way up until the last chapter. I believe this is a Draco shield, so I want this as well. And these are the 2 hardest chests to get, because ton of enemies blocking the way. These ones are a little bit easier to get. This one, I don't care about. It's an occult scroll, and you cannot sell occult scrolls in this game, and there's not very many good occult skills, and most of the units I'm using, like, have better skills for that anyway.
Yeah, I think we already kind of talked a little bit about occult scrolls, and we kind of thought, who would really benefit with an occult scroll? And other than maybe
Joffrey.
Flare, like Joffrey or Flare Khalil, or I don't know, Colossus Largo. I'm grasping at straws here, trying to think of people who can make good use of a mastery skill in 0% growths.
If I get enough occult scrolls, I might give one to Largo, just because I think the Colossus animations are very funny, but Colossus is not a very good skill. Like, that would just be because it's funny. Yeah, I'm leaving one slot open because you get 50 bonus experience. It might be 30, but I am just trying to get to that BXP benchmark that I need to hit by chapter 15. Or by the end of chapter 15, rather.
And yet we're deploying Zehark and Braum. I cannot wait to see how this goes.
Well, so that's the thing, is this is a defend map. I could theoretically... This is actually the last defend map, but unlike the first 2, where I just sort of like, well, I'll just park someone on the gate and like, nothing else really matters. The side objectives in this map actually matter. There's some good weapons in these chests and good items, and as I said, energy drop Draco shield. I want the Draco shot. I want the Draco shield, and I absolutely need the energy drop. Yeah, this.
So I lost the make-believe bet last map because I said you weren't going to get missed at the Sea Stabs. I'm going to say there's going to be at least 2 resets chapter, because this chapter, even vanilla, can be a little tricky sometimes.
I mean, one of the tricky things about this chapter is keeping Astrid alive, and she's less relevant in this playthrough than she would be otherwise.
Oh, I can't wait to see you use Astrid a whole bunch of playthrough.
I mean, let's get started then.
And this chapter is my favorite reason why Shove exists.
Yes, I'm going to be employing Shove to get Astrid on turn 1.
Oh, we're not gambling? Oh, and a reason I love Smite so much. Smite is such a fun skill.
Yes, without Smite, I would actually need 2 Shovers, but I only need 1. Because, I only need 2, rather. I would need 3 Shovers, or I can just Smite
right,
Ike. So, I'm about to recruit 2 new units. One of them is familiar, one of them is not.
it's that guy.
Let's talk about them. Let's start with Astrid. We already talked about Gatrie. We can touch on him briefly because he is, like, significantly weaker now. Do you want to go first, or should I, about Astrid?
I'll go first on this one. I really like Astrid. She's one of my favorite of the mounted units in this game. I think she has a wonderful design. She's really fun to level up to me because she comes with Paragon as her personal skill. So even though she's level 1, she just gains so much experience, and it's really satisfying watching the experience bar go up a whole lot. It brings that childish joy of, look how fast my unit's growing. But the biggest contribution Astrid brings when you recruit her in a normal playthrough is the Night Ward. To anyone who doesn't know, this item can be equipped by anyone of the Soldier, Knight, or Cavalier class and their promoted version, and it gives them +2 defense and +2 resistance. The extra benefit it does not tell you about is it gives you a plus, is it 20 or 30%?
I think it's 20%, which is still bonkers.
Oh yeah, it gives you a +20 or maybe 30, we can't remember, speed growth bonus to anyone who has it equipped. So you can trade it around in the base, that's what it's called. You can get everyone as close as you can to like 99 experience by the end of a map, and then you equip the Night Ward, give them a level up or 2, trade the Night Ward to someone else, give them a level up or 2, and you become so fast. I think on my most recent playthrough, I used all 4 of the Cavaliers. I used Oscar, Kieran, Astrid, and Makalov later, and all 4 of them had capped speed before they were level 5 or 6 promoted.
That's
they
ridiculous.
Just become so fast. They double everything, and just like Astrid, with just like any other Cavalier, you get to pick a weapon after promotion. Bows isn't the best weapon to have, but Astrid, I would say, is one of the best bow users in a base class in the series, just because you can canto after attacking. You can run out into a group of enemies, fire off a shot or 2, and retreat to a safe place. Something I usually do on this chapter is if you go back to the map and go up to the seize point, or the defend point we're looking at, I'll have Astrid just kind of chill right there next to Gatrie. She can run out, take a shot or 2 at some of the enemies, and then run back onto the seize point, because those 2 ledges next to the seize point kind of work the same as ledges, where you can't use one range to attack her from there. So that's kind of how I train her, but then I just bonus experience her up until promotion for the next chapter because I just like using her so much. But that's my rant over. What do you have to say about Astrid?
So I have an interesting history with Astrid. As I said, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was my first game. My first Fire Emblem game. I trained Oscar and Kieran, and so when Astrid showed up, I took one look at her stats, and I trained Rolf because I was one of those people. So I took one look at her stats, and I was like, she's worse than Oscar, she's worse than Kieran, she's worse than Rolf, which is irrelevant, because he's also bad. Why would I use this unit? And I gave all of her bows to Rolf and never used her. I saw that she had Paragon, which means that she gains experience faster, but my thought at that point was, who cares if she like eventually turns into something good? I have something good already.
This coming from the person who used Rolf.
Yeah, I was referring to Rolf. But that was my thought process. And then
I think we
later I was like, okay, so Astrid is an est unit. Like when I got a little bit better at Fire Emblem, I was like, okay, well, comparing her class by class to Rolf and Oscar and Kieran isn't helpful, but at the same time, her bases are terrible for this point in the game, so I wouldn't use her because bases overgrowths. So I continued to bench Astrid, and then I finally realized, oh wait, bonus experience. Astrid's growths are actually pretty damn good. In my Maniac Mode playthrough, she was far and away my best unit. I gave her access on promotion. I fucking love Astrid. She, like I said, Path of Radiance is one of the few games where capped stats matter, and that includes on Maniac Mode. Like, you have reduced experience gain and reduced bonus experience gain, and even then, I was able to cap her strength and speed pretty early into the like second act of the game. I saved a lot of bonus experience for her. Like, she requires some favoritism to be good, but like, again, this is Maniac mode. I did not have that much bonus experience available, and I fed a bunch to Jill and Marcia as well. And even after all of that, she ended up being my best combat unit. I think Marcia was probably my best unit overall because I gave her the boots and also she was a flyer. But Astrid's so fucking good. I love her. Which is why it's a shame that she has Oscar's stats, basically, and a worse weapon type. So she's not going to be doing too much, and she might die.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. Something we kind of hinted on last chapter whenever we were talking about Blossom. Paragon does work with bonus experience. It takes half as much bonus experience to level her up. So that's something that helps out with leveling her up some if you're willing to give her some favoritism. Something else I usually do, because I find every excuse possible to make Astrid better than she actually is, I usually forge her an iron bow for this map, just to help her with netting a couple kills here or there. I'll give her an extra... She can use steel bows, but I don't think you can forge steel bows at this point.
No,
so
I don't think you can forge steel yet.
So I usually just give her like an iron bow with 3 or 4 extra might, maybe 5 extra hit.
Well, plus, like, she's only got 6 skill, so, like, iron weapons are probably best for her at this moment.
Oh yeah, unless you did a steel weapon with a bunch of extra hit or something.
And then there's Gatrie. These are his stats, in case you remember them. They don't hold up quite as well. He gets doubled by a lot now, and like 14 defense isn't as strong as it used to be. When this guy has like 18 attack and doubles him. This guy has like 18 attack and doubles him. 17 attack on the archer. And now there's more plentiful mages as well. He's gonna be useful on this map, and I'll probably deploy him in a couple of other places, but like...
Remember that part way back when, whenever we said that Gatrie was going to be like one of our long-term units because his high defense was going to make him an Oswin where he just takes no damage for the whole game or something?
I only ever said medium term. I only ever said medium term. I want to go on record that I only ever said medium.
Oh, look at that. We're already feeding a kill to Marcia. You said these two were being promoted for different reasons, and Marcia's the combat one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds about right. That sounds like the sort of thing I would say.
Let's still get some you. Time to go open up some treasure chests.
Alright, do I want to, no. I should have...
Yeah.
Should have done this slightly differently. It's not bad enough that I, like, need to reset.
I mean, what's I gonna do this turn anyways?
It's more a matter of I want Astrid to attack next turn, and she can't do it. Like, I guess Braum can drop. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be almost his whole movement to reach the other side of Astrid anyways.
So, I'm taking a bit of an aggressive approach to these choke points, because I want to get to the other side. To get the chests before eventually some crows with lock touch show up. And they will open the chests.
Those crows have screwed me over so many times. They have lockpick as a skill, and they prioritize the locked chest. But I have found out they will seize the seize point if they're able to. They will completely forget that chest exists, and they will seize that point. I have found this out the hard way about 3 times.
However, you can stop them from seizing the point by opening every chest, because then they will have retreat AI active. I believe, I'm not 100% certain, but I think so.
They will. I've seen it happen where they'll just show up, see that there's no chest, and they'll immediately leave on the turn that they spawned in.
These two do not have lock touch. These two are just combat units, but there are more that show up later that are not combat units.
Also, this chapter is... Oh, nice trade. Also, this chapter is completely impossible because of the boss. Like, how do you expect to beat Chuck Norris as the boss of this chapter?
You gonna kill? Aww. I was hoping he would kill.
Or green unit. Oh, he's gonna. Oh, he's protecting the seize point.
I do
Good
not
job,
like that
green.
because that's where Braum is supposed to go.
Yes, and you are sitting in my spot.
Leth once again proving useful as a combat unit. Oh wait, no, I'll have Mordecai do it because he's still not like transformed.
This is not even his final form. Ugh, 67 hit with a killing edge.
Well, I mean that's a lance user.
That is true. Also, it took me an embarrassing amount of time to realize that these halberdiers on these plank, whatever they're called,
Yes.
they do not move.
Yeah, but they do have 1-2 range.
Yes, they'll just chill there on the planks until you try to get rid of them. And they are promoted units, so they are a little scary, but they're promoted soldiers. What can you really expect? Oh no, 50 gold.
Killer bow for Kieran to never use, probably.
You know, funnily enough, when it comes to like killer bows and high rank bows, I always end up with an Astrid with really awful weapon ranks because I just promote her at the end of this chapter. At the start of the next chapter, I just bonus experience her up into level 21. So I end up with a paladin Astrid with E axes and C bows.
There we go.
Very good.
So
This is easy.
I actually like this chapter a lot. Just because, like, I like the idea of you are defending a point that you do not start at. Like, you and the enemies are converging on this point that the green units are defending, and you want to help defend it. I don't know, I just think it's a really cool concept.
There's another map that's done that.
The Thracia ones?
It's called Battle Before Dawn.
Fuck off. Oh, right,
No,
you
Battle-
can't fly over that. I forgot.
In all seriousness, Battle Before Dawn was a horrible way to do a map like this, where you're racing to a defend point. That's something like, I think this is one of the perfect examples of you and the enemy are racing for a seize point that green units are protecting, because the Dussel chapter is way too easy, and Battle Before Dawn is poorly designed in every way possible. And if you need it explained why it's poorly designed, then try playing it again, and you'll realize why. Oh, I thought you were going to take drop with Braum. Oh, nice smite.
Well, I want Braum to continue moving forward, because I do eventually, like, the reason I deployed a terrible unit like Braum is he's going to guard the seize point, because he's got 13 defense. Gatrie's got 14,
wow.
but Gatrie can, like, deal damage going across the bridge. Yeah, that kind of highlights, like, why Braum is bad, is, like, one, Armor Knights are bad, but, like, if you are the sort of person who you're like, well, I gotta deploy one of every class or whatever, even then, Braum has, like, 2 chapter lead on Gatrie coming back, and that's assuming Gatrie got no defense level ups whatsoever. Like, look at that.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking, because I was wondering, like, why does Braum have only 1 less defense than him, but your Gatrie has got a couple levels, most likely. What's Gatrie's base level? What level is your
1,
Gatrie?
2,
Like level
3,
4?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that would leave her dead.
Okay, that makes way more sense now. I was wondering why. Yeah, your Gatrie is level 14 or something. Gatrie's base level 9, so he would have definitely gotten some defense levels at this point.
Oh, you were more marveling at the fact that Gatrie's not even better than Braum.
Yeah, I forgot that Gatrie had gotten a couple levels, so I was kind of wondering, like, wow, Braum is somewhat comparable, like, they're somewhat comparable to each other, but then I remembered Gatrie's gained 5 levels or something.
Only in a 0% growth context are they comparable to each other. So, unfortunately, I am gonna end up take dropping with Braum anyway.
Yeah, I think you'll have plenty of time to reach that seize point before you absolutely need Braum to be standing on it.
Yeah, I mean, Yeah.
The Ravens are the biggest thing that I think you need to be worried about seizing the point, because even if you just have someone standing in front of the seize point on the tile in front of it, it's still pretty difficult to read.
Well, the Ravens, the reason I'm putting Braum there as opposed to, like, Ike or something is the Ravens will also go for a kill if they can get one. I've had them kill Mist on this map before. So, putting Ike there just means that the Ravens will one-round him.
That makes sense.
But Braum, I mean, say what you will about him. He'll get, like, two-rounded by stuff, but the two Ravens can't attack him because of the whole ledge thing.
Yeah.
But perhaps more importantly, they won't even go for him because they won't read that they can work together.
Yeah, they can't. The AI does not see that they can combine for kills.
I think in
nice drone healing.
later games they can figure that out. Like, I know in Fire Emblem Awakening, enemies will actually move out of the way. Like, if you... Sometimes you do the trick that Gatrie's doing, where an archer is in melee range of you, so he is blocking everyone else from getting to you, right? Like, if you have an archer here and a melee person here, now literally no one can get to Gatrie. So he's just sort of like holding, he's just sort of choking this point. In Awakening, this archer would move over here and make room for everyone else. At least at higher difficulties. Because I know that's one of the things in terms of, like, Lunatic. How far can Braum go for a shove? It doesn't actually help.
I mean,
how far
I've
can
seen
Mordecai go for a
AI.
smite? Oh,
I've seen
okay.
Conquest do some pretty cool things with its AI before.
So this is actually... Oh, I could have... Anyway.
So,
I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you're still going to reach the chest next turn regardless.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I guess
It's
the smite
unnecessary
wasn't
but
at all,
fun.
but I mean, smiting at all is fun, considering you can only do it in like a couple games. So I'll take any excuse I can to smite something.
I do like that they brought back Smite in some of the newer or Shove in some of the newer Fire Emblems. I don't like that it's like a skill now.
Yeah, because I think shoving was in Fates, but it was a class skill for level 10 Oni Chieftain.
Oni Master, or Oni Warrior. So, like, it's the unpromoted version, not the promoted one. Which is slightly better, but still pretty annoying.
So, pretty much Rinka and anyone else you reclass into that are the only people who can shove. And it doesn't have the cool shoving animation on the map either. That's one of my favorite parts about shoving, is watching the shove animation. Oh no, her extra.
Oops.
Oh.
Well, that was.
She in range the archer now?
Yeah, she is. But does he one round her?
I don't think so.
I'm an idiot.
He probably gets away from that.
He doesn't one round her. Well, wait, is she way down?
No, she's not. 5 weight on her
Okay.
6 strength.
So he does not double her, and he doesn't one round her. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I just wasn't paying. I was not paying attention because why would you pay attention in a playthrough that like requires precise movement? Why would you do that?
Oh, and remember to equip the Night Ward, because I think
yeah, it doesn't
items
auto
don't
equip
automatically, like weapons do. There you go. There have been an embarrassing number of times where I've just left the Night Ward on someone completely unequipped because I'll trade it onto them. Yay, a coin! We can forge something next game. Can't wait to see how you're gonna block these soldiers off. Oh, we're using Marsha for it. Something tells me this isn't going 100% how it was all planned out.
What makes you think that? What makes you think that?
Your silence.
There we go. And then
That was calculated, right? Except does he get wrecked by the Raven next to him?
He does, but so like here's the thing is I've blocked the Raven from like making it onto the boat. Like that's why I've Leth here and Marcia here.
About to trade the killing edge off of him?
So he would get fucking destroyed. But like
Well,
so will she, so will everyone. Oh, this is probably a reset.
The other guy has a javelin, right? So he won't do as much damage to Zehark, and does
he's a
the Raven
jav?
double?
The Raven almost certainly doubles him. Speed of 13, speed of 15, weighed down by nothing.
Yeah.
Weighed down by 2 for this. But
If he
either
uses
way,
killing edge, I think maybe Raven plus Javelin would
I think
kill.
what we do is Lagoon Slayer, because then I can like deal a good chunk of damage to the Raven.
Potentially.
It's very
Maybe
possible that he's dead, and if he is, that's a reset, but we're at turn 3, that's not...
Yeah, Raven plus Javelin might kill, depending on just how much the Raven does. Hey, maybe she'll kill him on counter. Oh god.
See, it
so
was
much
all
damage.
calculated. Now the melee guy can attack Gatrie. Like I said, normally I would just leave it like that because I don't like. I want to go very aggressively at this. Oh, he killed the green unit.
Oh, he's not gonna green unit anyway, who cares?
I want to go very aggressively at this map, simply because I need to get all those treasures, and
Yeah, that makes sense. Something different about doing like the enemy choking thing is in FE7, the enemies have a set unit order. So, for example, once that archer moved, the soldier wouldn't be able to move. Nice dodge.
that could have been scary. I forgot the mages move, because like there's a like you said, the halberdiers don't move. The boss moves eventually, but he does not move initially. It's
Yeah,
really
he's
weird what enemies do and don't move on this map. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means Leth can like charge. Okay.
Oh, nice miss.
Because that's the other thing is getting those chests is a huge priority, because the Ravens will eventually show up. And while they do prioritize the occult one because they show up from here and that's the closest and that's the one I care the least about, they show up like 2 at a time and they're really hard to kill, so I'd like to be able to just ignore them, which is also why Marcia's promotion for this chapter is the plus move. Like, I want her to be a second thief. She's so...
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if you got a second thief who was flying?
A flying thief. That sounds like something someone would do in a ROM hack at some point.
Oh, maybe like a randomizer where the thief thing is a skill and they just like randomize lock touch or thief skill onto Pegasus Knights or whatever.
I've actually done in 3 houses. I remember making Byleth a thief, mastering the class so they earn the steal skill, and then I turned him into a Wyvern Lord with boots, with the DLC boots. So I had a flyer with about 13 move and could steal stuff from enemies. I could fly in from completely outside of their range, nick whatever I want off of them, and then just run away.
That's hilarious.
I'm dying to know, how much damage would that mage have done to Gatrie?
We'll check that, and then we'll take a quick break, because we're already 30 minutes into the recording. This is going to be a long map. Where's the attack? 16 attack compared to 0. He was so fucking dead.
He would have died!
He was so fucking dead.
What was the avoid chance? What was the hit and avoid? 18 avoid.
He was so fucking dead. Oh my god!
It was like 70 hit or 80 hit.
Oh.
You missed 2 80% and a 2 RN.
Can you say never punished?
I have the 2 RN chart right here. Let me find it. Where's my 2RN chart? What is it? 80%? Where'd it go? I saved it to favorites, I think. There it is. 80% is 92.2. He just dodged twice. I mean, he only had to dodge one to survive, but still.
Gatrie MVP.
I guess we'll be right back after these messages.
Yeah, I need a moment to recover from that.